Positivity. Sunshine and rainbows. Friend or foe? And is it destroying your manifestations? Hello, my name is Robbie. I can't with this. My name is Robbie. I'm not a teacher, I'm a student. And I've decided to embrace my North Node in Gemini and embrace not knowing things and things that I've learned and just embracing being not the teacher and being a learner. And on my little manifestation journey, I have decided now to make a video about positivity and why I think it's ruining manifestations. But I also want to talk about positivity and negativity again and like my thoughts about them because I think I have pretty interesting things to say. So, I feel like if I say without further ado, it's just like such a testament to like old YouTube beauty guru videos. Without further ado, let's get into my haul from Sephora. Here I have Bolthouse Farms carrot juice. I look cracked out right now. That's because it is 2 a.m. Without further ado, let's talk about it. So, positivity. And I don't mean positivity. I mean like adopting positivity to get something, or I hate saying the word toxic, but toxic positivity and also toxic negativity. So something I see in the manifestation community is a really big just claim it's this way anyways. Just say it's this way anyways. I have thoughts on this. And what I've learned is, for me, aggressive, intense, deliberate, 110% radical honesty about my emotions has served me so much better than trying to overwrite them. And I kept on asking myself, why, when all these people are saying, just claim it's this, just say it's that, just say it's this. And I've come up with a few answers. The first one is they're not wrong. What they're talking about is the story you tell yourself, not the emotions you're feeling in your body. And I feel like a lot of people get it confused because they're like, I'm feeling jealousy and hatred in my body, so I can't just say that I'm not feeling that. But I think that what these creators are trying to say is you feel the jealousy and hatred, but you don't let it mean anything. Like, that's the big takeaway from all of it, is what I'm learning. So when I do feel my emotions, I feel them, but I don't let them create a story. So I'll be walking in the mall, somebody bumps into me, I'm like, okay. Then somebody bumps into me again. I'm like, I'm frustrated and angry and just shocked at people right now. That's my 100% and 110% honest authenticity about what that feels like. But what I'm not gonna let myself do is cross the rainbow bridge over and get to Storyland. I'm not gonna be like, everyone in the city is stupid, nobody knows how to walk, people lose their minds and this and this, everybody's gotten dumber, nobody blah blah blah, I'm never respected, people never see me. That is, I feel like, the basis of like what all the teachers are trying to say. But we're stuck on, I'm not angry, that situation never happened to me. And like, sure, I feel like if you've progressed really deeply in your spiritual and like manifestation journey, then you could revise things. I don't see a point in that, but maybe one day I will. I'm open to it. But so that's where I used to get confused, because I used to be like, no, the ignorance and absolute rudeness and taking advantage of me of this person, it's not happening. No, I'm loved. I didn't feel loved. I felt angry and awful and all this shit, and I kept on trying to override it, trying so desperately to be like, no, it's fine, they're perfect, everything's perfect. If I say everything's perfect, perfection will come. Here's why that didn't work. 1, when I was a child, I was a deep people pleaser, very intense people pleaser. And when people would do rude things to me, I would say, no, it's fine, no, it's okay, no, this isn't, like, I'm mistaking it, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, whatever. And I have a painful bodily reaction from those past patterns. So now, when I'm like, no, 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 everything's fine, everything's good, this is my manifestation, blah, 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 I get that same bodily awfulness. And it doesn't make me feel safe. It doesn't make me feel like I'm decreeing or choosing or claiming anything. It makes me feel like I'm back in this place where I'm avoiding. And then it hit me. Toxic positivity doesn't work because it's a cope. And every single time people talk about manifestation, Neville Goddard, the manifestation community, they're like, it's not about what you're saying or what you're doing, it's about who you're being. And if you're aggressively positive every single time anything bad happens in your life, even though deeply you feel injustice, anger, sadness, shock, confusion, shame, guilt, but you're trying to override it, you're desperately telling your brain, I'm gonna resist this, I'm gonna resist this, I need to cope, I need to cope, I need to cope. And then your brain learns, there's things in my life I have to constantly cope over. Let's keep showing myself why I need to have coping mechanisms to cope. And it's like, right, because this is about who you're being. I'll be honest, intellectually, this has landed into me. Somatically, not fully there yet. But I do believe this is like kind of what the point is of everybody else and what they're saying as well. So if you're always like, you know how they say what resists persists, what you allow flows or whatever, it's true. Like when you punch down on a pillow or when you shove a beach ball down underwater, it's gonna come back up, and then the beach ball is gonna pop up 50 feet in the air, way higher, and probably smack you in the face. You idiot. Probably. But all that to say, when we're aggressively forcing things down, it's completely different from being like, this doesn't own me. Like being like, it's not here, it's not here, it's not here, and putting all the energy to be like, it's not here, is a huge, huge subconscious reminder to your subconscious mind and brain that this is so here, it's so disturbingly here that I'm going to like put so much energy into shoving it down. And now there's also things that we need to really, really cope over. And so let's make more of this. And it's like, the more and more you're going to fake positivity, especially somatic positivity, not intellectual positivity. And by somatic, I mean in your body. You're never going to feel safe. You're never going to feel calm. You're never going to feel like you trust yourself, you trust the world. You're never going to feel all that good shit that comes when what they say is understanding God. So if you're like, I'm God, but no, this isn't happening to me. I'm not failing school, even though I see the F. Do you notice how that's not calm, present, collected, powerful, in authority, decreeing, any of the shit anybody else ever talks about ever? And I'm not saying that we need to also force that calmness and shit, but like, that is like the complete opposite of that. And like, so what happened to me is I started being like aggressively honest, like aggressive, like every single day now I'm like, I'll feel a feeling and I'm like, oh, I see the feeling, I'm gonna feel it, like laser focus, hot beam focus of the feeling, letting it feel like it's almost gonna kill me, and then letting it go when it goes. And especially being like, I feel this, I allow myself to feel this, I'm going to now feel this. I'm feeling this. So I'll be in a conversation. I feel really belittled. I'm going to allow myself to feel belittled. Now I'm feeling it. I'm all small. I'm feeling it with 100% focus. And then it goes away, or somehow it just the situation's over with, and I feel it so intensely, like I make it so much bigger in my body, and I'm like breathing, but also like just intense focus on that pain and on that feeling without going into a deep mental narrative. So yes, I'm going to be like, I'm feeling this, I'm allowed to feel this, but I'm not going to be like, these people are making me feel this way. They're forcing my hand in this, and this is how it always goes for me, and this is what it always happens. So I feel like that was a really helpful distinction. And then something crazy happened. The crazy thing was when I accepted that emotional honesty, the thing didn't have power over me anymore. Because I realized that the power of the thought only comes from the emotion. And that was really helpful. I also got a lot of help from Anne Hintz, if you check out her YouTube channel, and also Jackie Hoodwinkler, if you check out their YouTube channels. She deleted like all her videos, so sorry if you don't find anything. But they talk about emotional honesty and why it's really important, and I feel like the manifestation community has just lost that, and it's like so unfortunate because it's such a beautiful way to grow and like grow in consciousness and become closer to God, become closer to the I am, and the awareness, and like it's so unfortunate that the thing that's going around is ignore everything, just tell a different story. Because emotional honesty is so important. Like 9 times out of 10, to get the power out of the thing that's killing you is by facing it so directly that it's like your body's almost vibrating and like it feels like a tiny death, and like you're literally alchemizing the emotions and then it going. Because now you're not like acting like it's not there like a crazy bird when it's there. And then, oh look, the power's gone. I can just go and have my coffee now. I hate coffee. I can go and have my Bolthouse Farms carrot juice now and live my life. Wow, all it took was emotional honesty. And for me, this has been such an important part of my learning because now I'm so good at recognizing the feeling of resistance, and that I know the second it comes up and I'm like, okay, I'm resisting something, I'm going to let it go. And you would think that they're like, oh, if you allow this bad, awful feeling, and if you allow yourself to face the truth of a situation, you're going to ruin your manifestation or ruin everything. But that's really not true. Like, most situations you get over or they fix themselves or things get better when you acknowledge that shit is not okay. There have been so many of my friends who like genuinely crash the fuck out when things happen to them, and they're some of the luckiest people I've ever met in my life. Like random money, so beautiful. Like I can't even explain, like they're like just living like dream lives, and like it's like they have like they're so good. They'll do everything that people in like the manifestation community struggle with constantly for years. They'll be like, I've been on this journey for years, and it's like my friends who are complaining and venting about how much everything sucks are like absolutely thriving, and people I've seen who have been in this positivity rut for years are just still in the exact same place. And it's like so crazy, and I don't mean to be like, oh, this is better than that. I mean, I do. That's why I'm making this video, because I feel like it's helped me a lot. But it's just so insane, because the only way you're gonna have freedom from a certain thought or like pattern or sort of thing is just by like acknowledging that it's there and like being like, you're not so scary. Oh wait, you actually don't have control over my life. Oh wait, now that I'm feeling it and seeing it, because again, feeling is another way of seeing something, which is exactly what you do in meditation. You see your thoughts, now you're seeing your feelings, feeling them. It's like, oh, you are actually not my master. I'm actually not your servant. Okay. And then you move on. And that's what it was like for me. And like I can't even tell you like the amount of raw magnetism and like amazing things that happened to me after. Like it was like good thing on good thing on good thing on good thing on good thing. And it was like so cool. And one of the coolest things I had felt for me, because like for me, I'm usually like I have trouble on like the person journey, like when it comes to love and romance and stuff. Like for me, money is very easy, and like things like clear skin and stuff, it's like very easy, things that people want. Like, but people have always been complicated for me. I've always felt very not worthy. I've always felt like I needed to prove my worth. And what happened was I was like, you know what, this guy or this person or whoever, I'm actually not happy with their behavior, and they actually did hurt me, and I'm actually upset, and I actually do think they're flaky, and I actually don't think that they're emotionally like where I are. Like I'll just admit everything, and like I was just like, at some point I sat down and I was like, you know what, he let me down. I thought that person was emotionally immature. Their action showed a lot of bullshit. It was actually really disappointing. And like I stopped making the story, I stopped being like, it's perfect, they're perfect, everything's perfect. Ah! And I was like, I'm honestly unhappy with this. And the most amazing thing happened ever after. It was like a day after that, I was just like, I felt like such release from admitting it. And like, it just like, all of it melted off my body. I cried, but it was like a really, really good, like spring cleaning, flushing, like bright blue water, bubbly, fresh spring wind, solar cry. And it was just so cleansing and good. And I was like, oh my God, I've been hiding from this for so long. I've been pushing it away for so long. I just admitted it to myself. I was like, I'm disappointed in you. I am. I'm not happy with this person's behavior. It's not cool, actually. It's not. And I don't like it. And I'm actually kind of angry. And then a few days later, it was like I just let that happen. And it felt like just weight has shifted off of me. But then the coolest thing that happened was a few nights after I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I felt this deep, full body engorging love from them, and it was like true unconditional love for this person. And I was like, whoa. Because I also didn't resist that. A part of me was like, no, 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 no. Now that we admitted that we're not happy, we're not gonna, no, 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 no love, fuck that, blocked. But I was like, I'm gonna allow this feeling anyway, regardless of what anyone thinks, and regardless of if it seems pathetic or if it seems this. And I was like, I have a lot of love for this person. And then it was just so crazy, and it was like my brain just started instantly going into inner conversations and imaginings that were just so fruitful and so full of love and comfort and like full whole warm buttery bread love, and it was just so whole and so warm. And I was like, this is where I tried to force myself to visualize for so long, and my brain just resisted all of that happiness and all of that love and all of that calmness for so, so, so long. But the second that I was emotionally honest, it went away, the pain, the anger. Well, yeah, actually it did. I don't think I feel it. EFT tapping helps a lot too. I really like it. But the love came easier too. The positivity that everyone's trying so hard just came easy when I wasn't trying to force it to be there. And it was like deep, deep unconditional love. It felt like nothing. I felt different from everyone on the planet. I felt like in that moment I felt like no one on the planet understood what I could possibly be feeling. And it was just like, wow. Just a little bit of emotional honesty. And so I wanted to offer that because it's what I learned. And I also want to talk about negativity on the other side, because this is I don't know if you know Power of I Am Eric. He really opened my eyes to this. He's big on like just change the story regardless of what you feel, but and like all of them are, which they're right. It's just about it's about like what you give meaning to in the story, not about none of them are saying not to feel, but that's just like what a lot of people, including myself, had taken that stuff to mean when they say ignore 3D and ignore stuff. Like that's what we think it means, but it's not actually. But anyways, so I want to talk about negativity now, and what I mean by that is, so I'm like, oh, like false and toxic positivity is a thing. So on the upside or the downside, toxic negativity or false, like forced negativity is also a thing as well. And I also had to notice that. And Eric, the reason I bring him up is because it's like people always say, well, you got to be realistic when it comes to being positive, and it's never about how unrealistic the negative thing is either. So for example, people will be like, oh, well, like everybody loves me is like such an unrealistic thing to say, but when you say in your brain everybody hates me, there's no part of your brain that's like that's unrealistic. Like no part of your brain is being like, oh, I shouldn't be like that, that's unrealistic, that's silly. Like your brain's like, yeah, I'll listen to it, because being negative is real. Whenever people are like, oh, she's real as fuck, they're just like usually talking about someone who can hate things really easily. And I used to get that a lot. People would be like, oh my god, like she's so real. And it was like in my moments of like deep self-deprecation or like hating life, hating school, hating everything, people were like, oh, you're so real. Because apparently for some reason positivity is seen in a light that's unrealistic, while negativity is seen as realistic when it's just as unrealistic as a lot of false positivity is. Like if you're like, everybody fucking hates me and like this is such bullshit, like a lot of the times that's a really unrealistic thing to say. Everybody doesn't actually hate you, and a lot of the times that hate is just like truly a reflection of another person's own inner world rather than you. It's just as unrealistic to say that as it is to be like, everybody loves me, like nobody could feel a single awful thing towards me. And it's like, yeah. And so Eric he often says things like, oh, it's so unrealistic that I would get a job where it's easy for me and stuff, but like it's also like, or like he'll be like, people are like, I can't make that story for myself, like it's too positive or whatever. And then he'll be like, well, how are you so easily just listening to the negative? Like, why does that have to be the real thing, you know? And I think that's very true. And people are like, how am I going to tell a different story? This is one of my favorite things he talked about. He was like, people are going to be like, how do I tell a different story? And it's like, he's like, the exact same way you tell the negative one, the exact same way you just immediately have faith in the negative story, and how you imagine it, you visualize the bad things happening, you all your thoughts go to the negative thing, all your feelings go into feeling the situation where the negative thing would happen, and like all of your stories go towards the negative thing, which is exactly the opposite of like what everybody else is finding so hard to do on the positive side, but we can do so easily with negativity. And I really love that he said that, 'cause it really shone a light on me. It shone a light on a lot of things, like even my example in the beginning where I was like, oh, like I felt like that inner body stress from like people pleasing. It's like, okay, why do I not feel inner body stress from like the like going into negativity or going into pain? Why is that natural and normal and calmer? So of course there can be a flip side, but the reason why I want to talk about it was because they're both stupid as fuck, no offense, unrealistic as fuck, and they both need each other to live. And a lot of people, I think it was Eckhart Tolle or somebody, like I think it could have been Bradley from The Internal Game. I have a lot of favorite YouTube channels on here, but he talks about how peace doesn't need good or bad, and bad needs good, and good needs bad to exist. Just like how, like, without darkness you wouldn't know how good light is, and without light you wouldn't have understood darkness either. But it's like peace and I am and God and source, which is what I cannot stress this enough, everyone is actually talking about, doesn't actually need that. I am and source doesn't actually need you to be positive. It doesn't need you to be negative. Whoa, I'm learning stuff as I'm saying it right now. This is hitting. But it doesn't need those two things. They're both yin and yangs of each other, but source doesn't actually depend on either of them. And so, yeah, it just depends on like, I actually don't know what it depends like, but they're both amalgamations, is that the word, of each other. And I find it really interesting. And usually, something that I've noticed, like, people used to really hate when I was really positive, and I also was like, that's silly. But I've noticed that, like, I feel like Star Wars got like a reference from positivity, negativity. They say a Sith always deals in absolutes, and I feel like a negative person always deals in absolutes. Like, positive people will be like, oh, it's okay, but like, negative people, or like people who are into like a lot of negativity, will be like, no, the world is this way, and that's just the way this person is, and that's just the way that my life is, and that's that, point blank, period. And I've noticed that a lot in people who are either very proud of being pessimistic or negative, or they just like believe that positivity is the stupidest thing ever. They very much deal in absolutes. And that's like a huge way of, like, Athena Raven says, another YouTube channel, she talks about how when a person is speaking in absolutes, you can find where the assumption lies, if you're into law of assumption, Neville Goddard. But yeah, so my thoughts are, to conclude, forced positivity can be a coping mechanism, and forced negativity is kind of like a really good way of seeing your assumptions, and both of them kind of need each other, but both of them are also super like highly unrealistic and like really big illusions. Like, I feel like they're both huge illusions, and like, I forgot who said it, but Bradley from The Internal Game talks about it, where he was like, of course speak in favor of yourself, but even like the good label you give yourself, even that is a limitation. And I feel like that's why people are always like, go within, because like, actually I'm gonna make another video for that, but why going within is so important, and why the I am awareness is so important, more important than anything you tell yourself, because all those things are still limitations, and this doesn't need those limitations. Anyway, so those are just my thoughts on that and my experience with emotional honesty. So for now, I just like kind of don't listen to the story, but I really do care about going into my body and feeling anything that comes up. and it's been really important, and it's amazing. And EFT tapping specifically has helped me a lot. I do it my own way. I do follow the basic guideline, but then I also just go wherever my emotion takes me. When I'm nearing the end of each body area, I'm just gonna follow wherever I want to. But it's been really helpful, and I've noticed that thoughts just don't have power anymore when you feel the emotion behind them. It's like if your whole life you were just like really good with money, and then someone was like, or you had a thought that was like, I'm shit with money, you'd be like, I have no emotion attached to this, I have no bodily somatic fear and like state and like amness attached with that, so why would it bother me? And then obviously it just stops, it just doesn't do shit to you, like how people talk about in the law, for example. And so what I've learned is emotional honesty really matters. Positivity, negativity need each other, but the I am doesn't need them. The emotion, feel it honestly. The story, notice it. It doesn't have, sometimes it doesn't have a lot to do with, actually, I don't know. Fuck even trying to make the story pretty. Fuck that too. Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Oh, also a really big thing is people are trying to force positivity all the time, and then they're like, that's going to give you my dream life. But don't you think in your dream life you'd be safe and comfortable in your body and not forcing things and not forcing yourself to feel certain things? Like, I feel like if you were in the highest timeline with the most favored circumstances in the most wonderful, graceful, beautiful life ever, you wouldn't be like, hey, ignoring. I can't. No. I can't see the. No, that's just. I'm gonna block it out. So I'm gonna block it in my brain. Everything is good. Everything is good. Like, no, I'm not gonna. I'm fine. Like, you're not doing that. In your highest, most favored, most whatever timeline, you're like, chill. Like, you're a lot, like, it just doesn't have power over you, because why would it have power over you? You're the power. Like, I highly doubt in the most beautiful timeline I'm literally gonna be like stressed over not feeling safe in my body because I just can't admit things to myself. Like, I would probably be like really good homies with myself. I'd probably be like, ooh, that stung. Let's feel it. It's okay. I'm allowing you to feel it. I got you. Let's feel it. It's okay. I'm letting you. And then I would let myself. And then I would trust myself more and love myself more. And in turn, I would just be able to create something more beautiful for myself, because I wouldn't be faking or hiding anything. And so I'm okay in my consciousness too, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna bullshit. Anyways, that's my take. This is my deeply, deeply dramatic daughter. She is constantly feeling emotional honesty. You could learn a thing from her. Anyways, bye bye.